Welcome back to each other's soulmate. What is up, you guys? It's been a while. Our posting schedule's been a little weird, so thanks for sticking around with that. I know it's been a little crazy. We're supposed to post on Tuesdays. That hasn't been happening. Sorry. Sorry.
What?
We're trying. Life is lifing, and we're trying to get it out there for you guys. But thank you guys so much for being patient and, dealing with our little weird schedules. But yes, so we are back. This is season 2, episode 6. This one is titled The Cheating Curve. So I'm going to be a little fired the fuck up. So we decided to film in the morning. So we're going to see how my mood goes throughout the day. But yes, once again, we are a Sex and the City broadcast. We are 2 broads talking about our 4 favorite broads in New York City. So yeah, what is going on in this episode?
So, this episode is about cheating and what constitutes cheating. We're also going to go through what cheating means to different people. And we asked the question, is there a true definition of cheating?
All right.
Yeah. And in this episode, we are going to see Charlotte is taken under the wing of a group of lesbians, and she even goes to a place called G Spot. Miranda somehow manages to get cheated on while having sex with her man. Samantha gets a very personal new hairstylist and sees lightning strike twice. And Carrie goes on a public date with a woman and then a secret date with a man in this episode. So,
Interesting. You're gonna have to stick around and find out what happens.
got some stuff going on in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we start the episode off at Charlotte's art show. So if you don't remember, Charlotte runs an art gallery in New York City, and she is in the middle of an art show for a lesbian artist from Brooklyn, and the art is really cool in this episode. You know, it's
I do love it.
bold colors, lots of naked women. We have like religious symbols, like a naked woman that's done up like a pinup on a cross with roses. Very pretty, almost like Chicana looking art.
Yeah, that's
Really cool.
that's the vibe I got from it too.
Yeah. And so Charlotte's date to this event is Gareth, and he is a restaurant owner and toxic bachelor. And Miranda's date is a documentary filmmaker named Ethan. And then Carrie's date for the evening is Samantha.
Yay, how cute.
Yeah. And while they're hanging out at the event, Samantha sees her trainer from one of the trainers from her gym. So she tells Carrie, I'm going to go say hi to him real quick. And Carrie's like, I'm going to go home. I have a headache. So toodaloo. And
okay, Debbie Downer.
Yeah, but little does Samantha know that Carrie's actually up to something. So the thing that she's going to do is sneak away from her friends on their night out to go hang out with Mr. Big at his apartment. Yeah, she started.
Because he's back. If you guys don't remember,
Yeah,
he's not unfortunately, but whatever. Big is somehow back in the scene.
Yeah, so Carrie sneaks away from her friends. She doesn't tell them that she's going anywhere but home, but instead she goes to his apartment and they start to have sex. And she even says as they begin, I know it's wrong, but the guilt worked like an aphrodisiac.
Well, duh. Of course. When it's like, oh yeah, let's be real. Like when it's that forbidden love, it's that forbidden romance. It's like sleeping with coworkers. It's like it's not illegal, but it's can't relate. It's been like years since I've worked like with men like that in that capacity. Even though I wouldn't do that ever now, but yeah, restaurants is a fun job.
Yeah, honestly, restaurants are like a freaking jungle. There are no rules.
Honestly, it's insane.
It really is. Oh, but back at the art show, with only Charlotte, Samantha, and Miranda now. We have Charlotte walking by, and she's hearing all of these women talk about the art on the wall. She actually sells out the art show for the first
Mhm.
time in her career. That's a huge deal.
That's
There's
a huge
yeah,
deal. Go Charlotte.
go Charlotte.
Leave it to the lesbians to fucking do the most. Hell
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. She literally overhears them fighting, like playfully fighting over who's gonna even buy it. Like they all want
Yeah.
to buy the pieces. And it's just like a beautiful height in her career. Like this is a huge like milestone for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, there's another little surprise waiting for her. So one of the caterers comes up and tells her, like, we're out of champagne. And so she's like, I think I have some extra champagne downstairs. And so she goes to the basement area of the art gallery, and guess what she sees? She sees Mr. Gareth making out with a young woman. And this girl looks like she's like 22. She's like young. And it's just really hard to watch.
I'm
But
trying not to lose my mind.
yeah. So she goes downstairs and she sees them making out and she just goes, "Excuse me." And
hmm
they stop and look over at her and they're both smiling, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what fucker says? What? We're just kissing.
Yeah.
Uh, excuse me?
With the goofy ass looking grin on his face.
What was that you said, sir? I couldn't hear you the first time because you were sucking face with someone who's not me.
Yeah, on y'all's date. Like, can you imagine?
This episode's gonna do me in.
God. And yeah, no, Charlotte's pissed. She doesn't say anything. She just turns around and leaves. And he's like, I'll see you in there. Like,
No, the fuck you aren't.
fuck you.
No, the fuck you aren't. You're getting out. I'm gonna kick your ass out. Security! Security!
So, I don't know. I don't like to think I'm a violent person, but I don't know what I would have done in that scenario, to be honest with you.
Took the bottle of champagne and hit him on the head.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't even think she ended up finding champagne. Poor thing. Such a high and low right there.
Right?
So the next day, the four broads all meet and go to the farmer's market together. And Charlotte tells them what happened. And then Carrie comes in with a maybe he doesn't consider kissing cheating.
First of all, dude, Carrie's so stupid sometimes, okay?
Insufferable at this
I
point.
mean, let's be real though. Her entire job is talking about dating and stuff and seeing what's going on and what's normal and what's not normal. I mean, this is her entire job, is like asking people what they consider, you know, what's right and wrong in their love lives and sex lives. So her bringing that up isn't the most outrageous thing. However, the context is outrageous. Like, yes.
Yeah.
But I guess some people wouldn't, right? I guess
Yeah.
as we discuss this, we'll find out. So
Yeah, and Samantha comes in with a come on, it was just your second date.
I love what Charlotte says here.
So, doesn't that grant me fidelity until at least the end of the evening?
Yes, it should. It should. If I went out, if dude, I'm telling you, I was like not. I was dreading this episode. I'm dreading this episode. As a Leo, loyalty is like viscerally ingrained in my body. I am loyal. I've been saying this my entire life. I'm loyal to a fault. It is insane. So when just the thought of the topic bothers me. I'm like, why? What? No. But yeah, first, like if it was like a first or second date, yeah, you bet your ass I'd be a little fucking pissed off. I will like, I'm just thinking of scenarios. No more hypotheticals in my brain right now.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, you should be guaranteed fidelity until the end of the evening on a date.
Exactly.
Let's be real.
At the very least, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Because I bet you if Samantha caught a man making out with another woman on their date, it wouldn't be so happy-go-lucky. you know, and it happened to Carrie, she wouldn't be asking if it was cheating or not.
That's so true, though.
No, it's all fun games until it happens.
I don't know. I feel like Samantha would have found a way to just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are both of us going home?"
Because remember in that episode where she gets stood up by the wee guy? Or no, I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that one. I'm thinking about this other one. I'm sorry. It was the turtle one where she goes on the date and she just sees him talking to another woman and she leaves brokenhearted. That's the one I'm thinking of. And that's how she ends
Yeah.
the date with the turtle. Remember?
You're right.
He wasn't even kissing.
I think when Samantha's vulnerable, it's more she's more susceptible, but in other ways, some episodes you see her and she's like don't give a shit. So it really just depends on her mental clarity at the time.
On Mercury's and lemonade or not.
Yeah, seriously.
And then Miranda mentions how they all knew this guy Ron who was married with 2 kids. And she says that he didn't believe that fucking below 23rd Street was cheating. So for him, it was like geographical. Like if it happens over there, it didn't happen.
If I find you cheating in Austin, in Seguin, in New Braunfels, in Live Oak, in Helotes, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you're down Stone Oak, downtown, fucking. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be downtown at the fucking at jail, and you're gonna be at Bamsey in critical condition. That's where everyone's gonna be in that scenario. Anyway, I can't do this. It's gonna be a hard day.
At least you're starting off with the fire, not ending it. And Samantha says that men cheat for the same reason that dogs lick their balls. Because they can.
I agree. I agree that it's still so ingrained in like society that it's justified that I think
Have you ever
men still feel that way?
People who are like, oh, my dad cheated, so I'm destined to cheat.
I just had this conversation with a man. I just had this conversation with a man, and I was like, no, like don't even try me.
Blame your
don't even try me.
Else. It's not like freaking diabetes, dude. You can choose not to cheat. Like
exactly, because I'm like in the moment, like you can choose to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should just break up with or like whatever, and then sleep with other people. Like anyway, there's no logical. I don't think there's any logical explanation for cheating. I can agree that it can I can agree that like let's say you're plastered and it happens, right? Let's say it just happens. You're drunk, it happens, but you need to be so remorseful like the next day. Let's say you go to a bar, get plastered, and it happens. I don't know. Some people get crazy when they drink. You need to be remorseful the next day and be like, oh, I fucked up.
So if that happened to you and they came back remorseful, you'd be okay?
No, I wouldn't be okay, but I could be like, oh, I can understand why that happened. That wasn't intentional cheating. You know? It was spur of the moment cheating.
Interesting. Like
there's a difference.
Premeditated or not.
Yeah, premeditated versus like I'm drunk at a bar because I'm a fucking idiot versus like, oh, I'm interested in this girl and I've been wanting to hook up with her for a long time.
Oof. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, I hear that.
I can't do this episode. Cut.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and then
I'm gonna have to vape this episode. That's what's pissing me off. Okay, let's go through this.
Shelby, come on, let's go. Oh my gosh. Oh, and then Samantha also says, like, after the ball licking thing, she says it's part of their biology. Stop wasting time condemning it and get in line with the reality of the situation.
Samantha Marie Jones.
Seriously. And then, as foreshadowing as she can be, you know, Carrie comes in with you're forgetting one thing. Women cheat.
Women do cheat.
Women do cheat.
This is not, yeah, we're not over here. I'm not trying to say, we're not over here trying to say this is exclusive to men, even though I have a joke about this. But but yes, women do cheat. We're not faulting women for cheating. Cheating, I don't care what you are, whoever you are on the spectrum. I don't give a fuck. Cheating's cheating, and you're a fucking dickhole if you do it.
Yeah. There's really no like circumstance that I can think of where you're not the dickhole for cheating.
Yeah. Unless it's revenge cheating. I'm just kidding.
Like you've
I'm kidding.
cheating on.
Like you've been cheating. Yeah, you do it for revenge.
Like that.
I can't get on that petty level though. It doesn't, because it does nothing for the scenario.
Yeah.
I guess if you feel the need to do that to gain something back, maybe, but it's not going to help shit.
It reminds me of a story time I heard recently. The girl found out that her boyfriend was cheating on her, so she slept with his sister.
Love.
I thought that was funny. I don't know.
Keep it in the family. Fuck it. Dude, what a wild Christmas. What a wild Christmas. I love that.
So bad. Oh my God.
Hide your sisters.
So Carrie comes in with the women cheat, and Charlotte hits her back with that it's completely different when women cheat versus when men cheat. So in this discussion, they are saying that the two are separate. Like, because Charlotte says that, we don't go just attacking any random person we're attracted to. Samantha's like, speak for yourself.
Well, yeah.
Charlotte's like, but we're not driven by testosterone. We're driven by emotions. The little voice inside your head that says, mate for life, mate for life.
I love that scene. I love that little clip. It's so funny because I just saved it for like the episode, and then you sent it to me this morning, which I thought was super cute. But yeah, she's like, what about that little voice inside of me that says mate for life, mate for life? And I'm like, that's literally me. That's my little voice. If you were not aware, Bella's little voice in her head says that, unfortunately. And it's.
And then Tina comes in with the listening to every little fucking voice that pops in your head. It'll drive you nuts.
Too late. Too late. I've been that way my whole life. I'm like a fucking penguin, okay? I mate for life, okay?
But basically, Charlotte is really pushing the idea that, like, women cheat for emotional reasons and not physical reasons.
Debatable.
Yeah, I think that's debatable for one. But it makes me wonder, like, do you think that cheating for emotions is worse or not as bad or equal to cheating for physical attraction?
Cheating's cheating. Cheating is cheating.
But okay,
yeah,
it's kind of like what you were just saying, though. Like, it's one thing that you got wasted and had a slip up because you were like physically attracted to that person, and it's another thing for it to have been somebody that you've been wanting to do this for with a while.
It's still hurtful. So regardless, it's still the same action.
Yeah.
Like and then the only thing that's different is like, okay, well, how are we going to go forward now? Like for me, I'm not about like the hypothetical. What happened. Okay. What are we doing now? So for me, I'm like, okay, you fucked up. You slept with someone at a bar or whatever. Okay. Do I think that's excusable? Absolutely not. Do I think people can work through that? Yes. It's just really hard. But couples have worked through cheating. Let's be real. It happens. Marriages, couples, like relationships, people can work through it. More power to you. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. Actually, let's not test that. So, but it can happen. People do that. They work through their shit. If it was like hey, I've been wanting to sleep with this person, I'm interested in this person, I'm gonna be like, then you should probably go be with that person, because what led you to, something was leading you to do that, where you wanted to go outside of whatever this like committal relationship was to go be with someone else. That's different. Like, I don't see how you could work through that. It's like, hey, you've had an interest, go get interested.
Prosper.
Yeah, have fun, buddy.
But also begs the question, do you think that cheating is okay when it comes to searching for your soulmate? because that's what I'm kind of getting from what she's saying. We're not driven by testosterone, we're driven by emotions, the little voice that says mate for life. Like, and that kind of makes me feel like she's
Oh,
okay if you do it in search of that,
in
you know?
search of that. No, because if you're in a relationship with someone and like you meet someone and you're like, oh, then like to the point of like you can let's be real. You can be in a relationship, you can meet someone, you're like, damn, like you can be you're gonna be physically attracted to people who aren't your spouse or partner. Let's be real. We're humans, but it's one thing when you're like, oh, like I'm interested in this person. It's one thing if you want to if you're like, okay, I might be interested in this person, but like, hey, I'm actually in love with this person. Cool, great. You just kind of deal with that. But if you're like, oh, I'm into this person and this is going to be a problem, maybe that's something, you know
Yeah.
maybe that's something, and that's something you should consider
Be
if you're in a
honest with
relationship.
your partner about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
and I get the whole complexity of it though, because people are like they might love their spouse or want to be with their partner so bad. They're like, I don't want to lose my partner. I want to have my cake and eat it too. And I think men and women do that a lot in marriages and relationships, and that's why it is so secretive and it is so complicated. And it's just because they're like, oh, I don't want to lose what I have, because at the end of the day, whatever the partnership is, someone's benefiting from something.
yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so difficult.
Yeah. And another thing that makes it difficult is that different people have different definitions of what cheating is.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Charlotte's case, she doesn't tolerate it. And in Samantha's case, she's more forgiving. And she likes to say she's more realistic about human nature. But then Miranda hits her with that's because you cheat.
You cheat.
You cheat, so you're okay with it when it happens to you. But also, it's like, based off of what Samantha is saying, she's kind of alluding to, I cheat because men cheat. And I wonder if she would feel like that if that hadn't happened to her. That sounds like trauma, you know?
That's a
But
good point. I never thought of it like that. Because I maybe I'm like, I've been like, I don't know if I've ever been cheated on. That's secluded information that should definitely not get back to me.
so
if I
that I have
if
a
I
sister,
find out.
my exes, and I never found out whether or not that happened or not. But yeah, it did not feel good.
Yeah. Like you can, there's hypotheticals, but I also just can't see myself excusing behavior of my own because it happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get, like, let's say I did get cheated. I'm not just going to go around cheating on everyone else because, I mean, I have seen that. I have seen that previously. So it's like, I was never cheated on technically because I was technically not in a relationship with a person. I, however, did find out, this person did say that they were only sleeping with me, but they weren't. So I guess that constitutes as cheat. I don't know. Does that? No, that begs the question: is that cheating?
Like, is cheating defined by
By
the
your like relationship
relationship, or
status?
is it defined by whether you're saying that, like, is it the act of lying about it too?
Yeah, because I'm like, that's hard because I'm like, if you're telling me, if we had a conversation, hey, we're only sleeping with each other, and then you don't do that, like, is that cheating or are you just a fucking liar? you know, that's hard. I never thought about that one.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
And that's it makes more sense that we talk about this now because what's so popular in the day to day is this whole situationship lore,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's it's like when I'm talking to single women, there's so many of us that are in that position or have been through that position of this fucking gray area that's situationships, and it makes it so complicated. I have never seen such a level of like over analyzing and like fucking anxious attachments because of the rise of this like non-committal society. It's so crazy.
So, what is the definition of a situationship?
So it's basically like being in a relationship without exclusively being in a relationship. So you're
But
with some,
like benefits of a relationship, like
yes. So you're dating.
it,
You're
like
you're usually dating. So like you go out on dates, you're involved, whatever, but like to the world, you're not exclusive. It's like a hidden relationship
yeah,
essentially. And
yeah.
I don't, it's dumb. I don't like it. I don't like gray areas. I thought I kind of tried it. Not for me. Not
So
for me.
where does that cross over and differ from friends with benefits?
Because friends with benefits are like, oh, hey, I'm going to call you up. We can hang out, whatever. We can hang out and like, fuck. Cool. That's that. But like a situationship is like when it gets a little more involved and you're like, oh, I have feelings for this person. I think it's the feelings aspect too. I think
Okay.
friends with benefits is like it's a friendship, but you guys fuck.
Yeah.
I've never had that. I don't think
What exactly a situationship is and how it differs from, a friends with
friends
benefits.
with benefits. Yeah, no, I think it's the feelings. I think it's having like feelings for someone. I don't know. It's hard because I see this trend so much where it's guys saying like, yeah, I do. It's men saying, I like you. I like what we're doing, but I don't want to settle
Like
down.
around.
Yeah, they don't want to stop like doing what they're doing, but it's the same dynamic of men wanting to not be monogamous but have the benefits of a relationship, and it's a woman meeting a man saying, I really like you, I don't want to be with other people but you do, so I'm gonna be in this gray area with you that you benefit from.
Oof.
However, let's be real, like women can do whatever they want essentially in these situationships too, right? It's like, okay, if you're not going to be monogamous, I don't have to either. However, women, typically being women, don't want that. They're like, I met someone I want, you know? So
Interesting.
it's rough. It's rough. I see it so much. It's so prevalent in today's dating world. it's it's pretty interesting.
Hmm. That is really interesting.
Yeah.
So I think we've kind of established like there really is no cheating in absolute terms. It kind of depends on the person
For
and
sure.
we define as like crossing the line. It's kind of like when we were talking about pornography and how,
Yeah, and some
for
people consider that
people,
as cheating.
it is cheating. And even though that's not my definition of it, if I choose to be in a relationship with somebody and that's their definition, you have to honor that because you're choosing to be in a relationship with them. That's a
Oh,
boundary, you
that's
know?
actually an interesting take. So we could essentially define cheating as what's out of bounds for that couple.
Yeah,
That's just what cheating is. And
yeah,
it may be extreme, it may be minimal, and it may be extreme, but that's just what the boundaries in the relationships are.
yeah. But it's minimal and extreme to the person who's experiencing it because
Right.
you
That's what
what
I'm
that
saying, but it's exclusive to the people who are involved. Like
yeah,
there's no right definition, and until it's the two people coming together saying these are my boundaries.
yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because it and that goes along with the theme of the episode because that
Right.
basically is the cheating curve, which they defined in the episode as someone's definition of what constitutes cheating is in direct proportion to how much they themselves want to cheat. So
Right.
it's a direct proportion with the
It's
boundaries.
quantum cheating.
Moral relativism.
Moral relativism. That's oh yeah, Miranda says that, which I absolutely adore. She always comes in with like the best like legality terms, and I adore that. And then Carrie usually spins it off with something like quantum cheating. So
Exactly. And then to kind of round out this conversation, um, Samantha says that the act of cheating is defined by the act of getting caught.
Bitch.
One does not exist without the other.
Girl, what delusion are you? That is delusion. That is the Lulu station, and I am not at that train, bitch. I am not at that train. Get out of here, Samantha Marie. Man, cheating is cheating whether you get caught or not.
It really is. But that's between you and the Lord.
That's between you. I was about to say, you know what? That's between you and God, baby. Because fuck out of here. And it's going to be you and God because I'm going to put you in heaven and or hell. Bamsey. I'm telling you, man. Bamsey. You're critical condition.
Critical condition. Oh my gosh. And then, yeah, so that's kind of how we leave that conversation. And then in the next scene, we see Samantha going to the gym, and she's doing a session with that trainer from the
art show.
And dude, the tension between them is literally electric. It's really funny too, because you know, at one point he's like, "How do you feel?" She's like, "Oh, you got me all wet. I mean, sweat."
Let's be real. It's a little bit of both.
Oh yeah. And they agree they're gonna have a session the next week. And then that same day, back at Charlotte's gallery, we have Charlotte on the phone with Gareth. And
fucking prick,
dude, for real. He's like going off about how he says the other woman was an old friend of my sister's from college whose uncle died last month when she moved to the city. It's always some bitch who's
it's always some
a month ago who is oh my gosh.
Dude, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what happened. I don't care if her entire fucking family died in a fucking plane crash. I don't give a fuck. Look, I'm a nurse. I have to be empathetic. No. Not with this. I don't give a fuck. More laws, ethics out the fucking window. I don't give a shit. Critical condition, baby. Critical condition. And this is not a test for anyone, okay? This is not a test to push my limits.
Nope. But Charlotte's just not having it. She's
good.
She's rolling her eyes. She's like hearing him out, I guess, but she's just like not even there.
I'm glad because guess what some women would do? They'd be like, "Oh, May,
no,
okay.
Is she okay?"
Fuck you. I don't give a shit. I hope she fucking eats. Let's go on.
Yeah, no, he even tells Charlotte, you know, she's just that, but you're the one I want to sleep with.
Boy, bye.
Moment of silence for the
moment of silence.
I would ensue if that had been me.
Dude, for real, we're both fire signs. Fucked. Beyond. I'm gonna have to say soothing words.
But you know, a new wind blows, and here comes two women from the art show, two of the chic lesbians that were there.
Hell yeah.
And Charlotte goes up to them as they're standing in front of one of the paintings. They were the ones that she overheard playfully fighting over it. And one of them excuses herself to go make a call, and Charlotte starts talking to the other lady who's there. Her name's Lydia, and she's a VP from Warner Music. Hot.
Cool.
And Charlotte asks how long her and Lydia and the other lady have been together, and Lydia makes it clear, like, we're not together. We were 5 years ago. We are just friends. I love that.
Hell yeah.
When the other woman gets back from her phone call, she tells Lydia, you know, hey, so-and-so invited us for drinks. Do you want to go after this? And Lydia turns to Charlotte and she's like, do you want to? And Charlotte is hesitant. She pauses and she's kind of like, and she's like, do you, like, what do you need to do? Like, she's kind of pushing her to come out with them. And Charlotte has this big goofy grin on her face. She's like, I'd love to.
I didn't realize that her name was Lydia, which is really
Yeah.
cute. That's my grandma's name.
So Charlotte goes out with Lydia and her friends, and they go to a place called G Spot, which is a
Hell
hot
yeah.
lesbian bar. And
French
they,
fusion.
yeah,
Oh, no, no,
they
no.
go to a French fusion restaurant for dinner, and then
Love.
they go dancing that night at this place called Love Tunnel. And then in this
I love that.
right, and in the scene where she's dancing at Love Tunnel, they have this like fixture on
Oh,
the that looks like a freaking pussy. And
yeah. It's very sapphic.
yeah, you like zoom in as Charlotte's like dancing in this group of women through
It
this like
looks like it's in a tunnel of love.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
really theatrical and I love it. And you know, Charlotte is relaxed and liberated. She says that she feels so good having traveled to an alternate universe that contained no thought of men. And by the end of the night, she knew she'd made a bunch of wonderful new friends.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm, you know, in a world where there were no judgments and whatnot, I wonder if Charlotte would have actually wanted to be a part of that world.
I don't know.
I mean, she did show interest in having sex with the woman in the threesome episode, but
Right.
granted, it was in the presence of a man.
Mm-hmm.
She was also blonde, just like Lydia. Just saying.
You know what? The spinoff is still going. I'm like, there is room to grow here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really do think Charlotte's like inherently straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Probably.
like the way Carrie is. Carrie's
Yeah.
like violently straight.
I don't even want to. Yeah.
There's an episode coming up where we talk about all this too. So
Got it together then.
mm-hmm.
But another part of the city, we have Miranda walking home with Ethan, her dude from the art show as well. He and mind you, he makes documentary films. He's a filmmaker, and they had just gone to a 4-hour documentary. I think it was about the Holocaust. I don't remember.
Oh my god! What
like
a way!
Really, like, intense, like 4 hours.
What a way to set the mood.
And Ethan is just like passionately talking about the difference between narrative film and documentaries and about how, the movie could have been better if they'd done this, that, whatever. And Miranda just cuts him off by kissing him.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah. And they go back to his place and they begin to have sex. And as they begin to have sex, he turns on the TV and a VHS of pornography is playing.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, this has never happened to me. I can't imagine though.
Yeah, I usually have the TV on, but it's like a lo-fi video playing in the background. Just
yeah, like if it's me setting the mood, it's gonna be music for sure.
Yeah.
It'll always be music. I will always want to set the mood with music. Some people don't care. Some people just need background noise. Some people don't need background noise. Whatever. I guess it just depends on the moment. But yeah. But if you throw on porn to set the mood, like, whoa, what's happening here?
And especially,
it'd be really funny.
What?
If like you walk in and like you sit down on the bed and he like turns it on and he's all like this, and he's just like instructing you. He's like, this is what I want to happen. Actually, that's kind of hot.
I was gonna say, I don't think I'd be that upset if that happened. In the right context. I mean, granted, they're new to each other. They've only been on like a few dates, so
that's so wild to do it without any like context, though. Yeah. That's what's funny. That's what's funny about this scene is because it's like
he doesn't say anything. He just puts it on, and
because it's normalized for him.
And she asks about it, and he's like, "I just think it's hot," And I guess since he's a filmmaker, it kind of makes sense. So Miranda just kind of goes with it, and she's like, "It's kind of hot, I guess." Like she's trying it out, you know.
Yeah.
And the next time they hook up, like I guess later that week, he does it again, you know. But this time, Miranda isn't so just. She doesn't just roll over about it. She's like, "Is this really necessary?" And kind of lightly is like, "Can we stop?" And
Yeah.
he insists on having it on, and Miranda asks, "Aren't I enough?" And
Maybe that's the only way he can get hard.
he doesn't answer. He just tells her, "I'll mute it."
Yeah. I was saying maybe that's the only way he can get hard.
Yeah, that I feel like would be definition porn addiction.
No, because that's true. That does happen. I was just about to say psychologically, when I was in school, this is what we would talk about, that sometimes sex would get lost in like actual human to human connection because of pornography, because the dopamine hit is different with porn than it is with a human. Essentially, it's quicker, it's faster, it's dirtier, you know, like it pings off your dopamine more than like a person, because you have to essentially, in a person, there's trust and there's all those other emotions going on with sex that and then you're having the inhibition of like, am I doing it right, and blah blah blah. Porn doesn't do that because you're by yourself usually, and you're just getting to like go in your fantasy, so it pings off better. And so a lot of men sometimes like porn, and it's harder for them to like perform because it's of the variable of a woman.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there is that aspect. If that's, I don't know. I want to learn more about that. I want, like, I need to go back to school. Watch the podcast makes me go back to school for human sexuality. That'd be wild.
I think that would be
I'd be super qualified for this.
really, yeah, that would be a really cool path to take, especially with
Right?
your history and stuff. I think
Yeah.
that
But
would,
yeah, over here we're deciding my future.
I know.
Um
I think that would be great.
you're like,
Um,
"Oh." But yeah, no, that's what
yeah,
I'm saying, like,
and like especially if like you know for people who experience sexual trauma and whatnot, I
mhm.
think pornography is just like a safer means for them of exploring that. So I could also see porn
Yeah,
addiction
that
hard.
that too. That too. Sometimes it's never, you know, sometimes it's not malicious.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's just what you're comfortable with. And
yeah,
then it's crazy too, because now it's so different, because now it's on our in our freaking hands. You know, it's not on a VHS. It's right
yeah,
here. So,
yeah, really.
but that
But
does hurt. The whole "am I not enough" thing.
it
That's
does.
that's hard, because in the day-to-day, like in modern day, it's hard because we have such prevalent examples of like, you know, uh like just even on Instagram and like, you know, Twitter and like OnlyFans, is that, you know, porn is so accessible, even though it's not like just an actual website. I mean, we have practical pornography on Instagram that's public, you know, and it's accessible, and you can see people doing that, you know, and like interacting with that. And that could, I know a lot of women actually like who deal with that in their relationships or people that they're interested in, you know, and they're like, "Oh, hey, like I like this guy, but it looks like he's into all these other girls." And that can be really,
Confusing.
huh?
That can be really confusing.
Yeah, and it can be really hurtful because, you know, I get it, because it's like, yeah, you know, obviously you're enough. You know, you're always going to be enough, but it's like you can get stuck in the, well, I don't look like her. Well, I don't do this, and I don't do that. I don't look like that. You know, my body doesn't look like that. I can't do that, you know. And you can get really swept up in that, and it can be really harmful. So it's really hard. The dating scene is really hard with it being so prevalent, you know.
Yeah. No, I can
So
see
yeah,
that
it's still, that's just funny, right? It's still happening
to
30
this.
years later to this
Yeah,
day in a different context, you know?
no, seriously. And oh my god, I think the kicker though for this moment is they, you know, am I enough? He doesn't say anything about that. He just mutes it for her. and then he
Yeah.
tells you, "Can you move your head to the right?"
I'm gonna move my head out the door.
I'll bust
That's
your
where
head.
that's where I'm moving my head. Bye, buddy.
For real. In this next scene, after that, we have Carrie and Mr. Big on a dinner date at Mr. Big's place. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, when they do dinner at home and they're cooking, it's pretty, it's always Mr. Big that's cooking. And
He loves to cook
he loves
though.
to cook. And it's usually Italian food that he likes to cook.
Yeah.
But when he cooks, he doesn't just like cook, he like makes a meal, you know?
Oh yeah.
And it's Carrie's night to cook, I guess. And she made fondue. If you don't know what that is, she melted cheese and tore up pieces of bread. And
She tried. Okay, at the end of the day, she tried. Especially if you don't know how to cook, why are you going to try and make a dinner that's going to be shit? If you know how to cook something, you're like, "Here, we'll play around with that."
then don't offer.
It might be fun. You're like, "This is what I can do. This is what I can."
Yeah, I feel like there's such a huge space in between making fondue and trying to make a meal. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I think the act is sweet to just try and do something. It's like people who can't cook, like if you bake something, I don't know. It's just still, she tried, okay?
Well, not hard enough because it didn't really go well. She puts some in his mouth and she puts it straight in his mouth, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's great. Here, now you have some." And she takes it, she blows on it, and then she eats it, and she's like, "Oh, it's horrible. It was so bad." And
She
he's like, "Can we go to a restaurant now?" Like scared, like
Remember, Carrie uses her oven to store her purses.
she does. And I think that the "I can't cook" trope for women in the 90s was such a huge thing because that was one of the like defining characteristics of whether or not you would make a good wife. And I
Well,
think
it's just, we have to remember,
that idea.
this was also New York.
That is
New
true.
York's like culture is not conducive to cooking at home when you have an apartment that's the size of a fucking closet. So,
That's true.
Mr. Big, however, has an apartment with a full kitchen.
He does.
I mean, so does Carrie.
Yeah,
Carrie actually has a really big kitchen.
she really does. Actually, it's kind of ridiculous how big it is considering she doesn't.
Considering, like, yeah, it is. It's actually a big kitchen. So,
Yeah,
but
anyways,
anyway,
Carrie kind of, after the whole restaurant comment, she's talking to him and she asks, or she tells him, I'm sorry, "I haven't told any of my friends that we're seeing each other." He's like, "I haven't told mine either."
what friends, Big?
Yeah, that's what she says. She's like, "You don't have friends." He,
You loner.
he says, "I have interested parties." What does that mean? What does that
I realize I don't remember him.
that means? Because
I don't remember him saying that.
that feels like I got bitches waiting behind you.
You know what? And like, here, hold on. We know that. So let's be real. It's Mr. Big. He's rich. He's handsome. He's powerful. We know women are lined up
Guy in New
to
York.
date him and be with him. And then to kind of, well, here's the thing. I was just talking about this. I like a little jealous, like, playfulness. A little bit. I need you to test me in a minuscule amount, like, oh, I'd be like, oh, haha.
What do you mean by?
But so like a small little comment that would make me like jealous, like a little thing to keep me digging, because one, it also like ensures you that like I'm into you, like I get the whole, the playful jealousy thing, like, oh yeah, you'll be like, oh yeah, like, yeah, buddy, you want to go do that? Like, I like that kind of banter. I don't like when if it's real, get the fuck out. If you're just gonna if you're testing me to get me a little riled up, that's okay.
That's
But
fine,
like,
but
but when you're like, hey, I have interested part. If I know you have, if I know you have interested parties because I know the kind of dude you are, don't fucking play with me. Don't play with me.
don't play with
That is a hard.
not play.
That's hard when like there's someone kind of like not in like, you know, like someone who can notably have women chase them. That's a hard position to be in.
It is. But
No more dating
has,
public figures. I'm just kidding.
but he hasn't told his interested parties that he's seen somebody. That's what he's telling her. And she asks why. And he's like, I felt you didn't want me to.
What?
Mm-hmm. That's what he
Shut
said.
up.
And she says, bullshit. I'm happy because honestly, she needs to kind of stand up for herself sometimes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's like, well, what do you want to do? And he asks her directly. He tries to communicate that. And she doesn't say anything. That's the thing. Like, he tried to communicate. Well, what do you want to do about that? And she, nothing. So he's like,
the fear of losing him. That's what, like, that's. I feel for her in that moment because I understand the thought process of like being like anxious and like, you know, because in that moment she could say like, I want exclusivity, and he's gonna be like, well, I don't.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I completely understand. So
he says, good idea, let's keep it quiet. And she asks,
ugh.
You know, and he's like, I just want to be agreeable. And it really feels like manipulation. He's like, no, this is your idea. Like,
gross.
So the next morning, you know, Carrie is getting dressed, and well, Mr. Big isn't even woken up, and she's having this like internal monologue while she's getting dressed, and she's like, I'm not even sure why, but the relationship that I have with him feels illicit. I don't even want to get caught waking up at his house. Like, that sounds like cheating, like you're a mistress or something.
Yeah, that's weird.
And so on her walk home from Mr. Biggs at 7 in the morning, you know, she runs to Miranda. And she lies to Miranda because Miranda's like, what the fuck are you doing over here? And I'm going to the dentist to get a teeth cleaning while smoking a cigarette. I'm like, who smokes a cigarette on the way to the dentist? I don't know.
Ugh, I don't know.
You know? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But she changes the subject really quick from off of her to Miranda. And she asks how things are going with Ethan, the filmmaker. And Miranda's like, besides the fact that he's addicted to porn, you know, it was kind of sexy at first, but now it's getting borderline humiliating. You know, move your head here, move your head there. You would think that the real thing would be more exciting than a tape.
Well, this is what we were just talking about. I'm telling you, it's wild what it does to the brain.
And then, like you said, Carrie says, maybe it's just a force of habit.
Right.
Maybe that's what he's comfortable with, and he's not ready to let it go. But Miranda says, I feel like he's more interested in the women in the video. It's like he's cheating on me with them while we're having sex. Because at that point, it's kind of like, do you think that he is like using her body to make it feel like he's having sex with the women in the video?
Quite possibly. I actually was discussing this with another comic because he had kind of a joke similar to say, like, we were talking amongst like the idea of a guy having a VR girlfriend, like, you know, like the virtual reality games, and having a real girlfriend. Yeah, like, right. And we were laughing because we were trying to like put together the joke of like, oh, that like he's way more interested in hooking up with his VR girlfriend than he is with his like actual human girlfriend. So we were actually discussing this like very kind of thing, but like in a VR context.
Oh,
So
it would be like that episode of Black Mirror.
right. So
Just
yeah, crazy. It's crazy how this like how the themes pop up now. They're just in a more like
modern
technological context. It's crazy what technology has done for just society in all freaking aspects. But
oh yeah,
yeah.
I really wow. But yeah, so she's really asking like, am I expecting too much? Miranda is wondering, am I
No.
expecting too much by wanting him to stop?
No, because if that's your boundary, then just be like, hey, you know what? I'm not on board with this. Bye.
Yeah. And Carrie's like, you deserve to have his undivided attention.
Absolutely. If that's what you require.
I personally feel like if there's something that your partner is doing during sex that's making you uncomfortable, it's honestly never expecting too much to want them to stop. That
Oh, always.
you
Always. Even if you've done something before and
you
you're
don't
just
want to
not
do it,
comfortable.
you don't feel like it that day, you only want to do half of it or whatever, that's totally valid.
Mutual respect. Mutual respect and communication.
And as you're doing it.
Yeah.
There's no point of no return bullshit. If somebody tells you that, fucking run, dude.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, blue balls my ass. Oh my god. Anyways, Samantha has that trainer visit that we talked about. She's I'll see you next time. And her and her trainer are hooking up at her place after the session. So, they do the session at the gym. They go back to her place, and he's like, let's take a shower. So they go to the shower, and she mentions, I'm sorry, that he probably hooks up with all of the women he trains. And he's like, I actually don't, but it is a fantasy of mine. And he picks her up and takes her to the shower. Hot, right? And
hell yeah.
While they're in the shower, we see the shower, and you can't see inside because of the steam, but you can see there. And he mentions how beautiful her legs are. And she says that if I had known we were going to be doing this, I would have shaved them. And he's like, I'll shave them for you.
Hot.
Have you ever had your partner shave your legs?
No.
It's honestly I love it. I think it's great.
I had someone wash my hair before.
That's cool. Yeah.
I've had someone shampoo my hair.
But specifically the leg shaving, top notch.
I wouldn't trust I don't know if I can trust a man with a razor to my legs.
Okay, what kind of Neanderthal can't just go up?
Trust myself with my razors. Let alone
that's true.
Not
to my husband with that.
So. Okay, well yeah, it's different. But I'm like, no, get away from me.
But there really is something to be said about the intimacy of it.
The intimacy, yeah. I agree. If I trust someone enough to do that, I feel like it would be cute because it's cute. Like when I think of shaving a man's face.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's sometimes with my husband, I'll he'll shave and then I'll line it up for him.
There is something super intimate about doing each other's self-care.
Yeah.
The shaving or
boiling it down
or
that.
Or painting nails. You never know,
Oh, I wish he would let
me. It's nice.
But yeah, no, he is shaving her legs, and then to Samantha's surprise and delight, he keeps on shaving. He shaves her pussy.
I would never. That legs get away from my labia.
Exactly.
That is
have a woman for that.
I was about to say, I get waxed religiously by the same woman for the past. We both do. We actually go to the same waxer.
We do.
We've been going to her for. I've been going to her for. It was 2019. How long has that been? 6 years?
5.
No, 5. Yeah, I've been going to her for 5 years now.
Oh wow!
Um,
I went not that long after you did, so it's probably
yeah.
like 4 years for me, huh?
Mhm. Been
But
going to the same every 4 or 5 weeks. That's my girl. She's beyond waxer, like, she knows everything about me, and it's the best. But yeah,
really,
I haven't taken a razor to this, how do I describe her? This kitty. And yeah, my kitty for years and years and years and years. And the thought terrifies me
it really does. And I the thought of having a razor down there and ruining
because
all the work.
let's be real. Yeah, I've also cut myself. I've cut myself
Oh,
shaving down there a couple times.
oh my god.
Yeah, not like, okay, it's not like deformed, okay?
No,
If you
no,
guys are
no.
wondering.
I just like I know that that area like bleeds a lot. Like if you cut
No,
yourself
I mean,
there,
the
like
blood I don't give a shit about, but it's like a fucking cut. Like, ow. It hurts.
yeah, there's no fun about a cut in your twat. Jesus. Uh,
Exactly.
but you know so he shaves her fucking pussy, and then the next night she's at Carrie's apartment. So we have Carrie, Miranda, and Samantha at Carrie's apartment. And Carrie's like locked in the bathroom. We don't know what she's doing, but Samantha and Miranda are talking about what had happened. And, she's just like, what is it with men wanting to shave your pubic hair? And Miranda's like, it's because they just want a little girl. Honestly, though, like men who like don't like any kind of hair in that area, I'm suspicious of you. Um, but it just yeah, Samantha's like it wasn't so much like that. It was more like being branded. She says he shaved me into a lightning bolt.
That's so cool.
I think that's talent right there. I think
I was about to say, like, that's talent if you can do that. So,
and uh Samantha's like, you can't just let it grow wild anymore. There's an entire industry these days that is devoted to the upkeep and management of pubic hair. It says as much about you as your shoes.
that's true.
Yeah. And if y'all want to
I've never I've never gotten a shape.
no,
No, well, okay, a crazy shape.
uh,
Let's what's it called? Like, elaborate. Yeah, not like I haven't gotten like a heart or like a lightning bolt or like a Playboy, but no.
I never
You
got
have?
that. Yeah, I get shapes sometimes. I've gotten a
Like,
heart.
fun ones.
Huh?
You've done a heart
Yeah,
before me?
I've been getting waxed religiously since I was 16.
Oh yeah. I I want to do one now. Dude, I know. No, that's funny because I'm not typically I let I take everything off. That's just me. That's my preference. You wax what your preference is always. For a couple of years though, I would leave stuff, but it would just be like rectangle, like landing strip, whatever.
Yeah,
Um, but I've never done like a fun one, but now I don't have hair to do it with.
next time.
No, it's gonna take a lot. It would take a long time for it to grow back out to the point of like shapes. It would take me like a couple months.
You should try. I like personally right now. I like the triangle.
You know what I want to do though in the meantime, or I can do the vajazzles because she just got them in. There's a cat, there's a cowboy hat, there's a heart, and I think there's a lightning bolt.
Oh my god!
So I kind of want to.
A hat, and I want it to say "Giddy up, partner."
I want mine to say. I want the cat, and it says meow.
And if y'all want to go see Our Lady, she's amazing. Her name is Jamie. We love her. Shout out to
I
Jamie.
do love Jamie.
And her business is called Lumos Wax.
Lumos Wax Studios
Studios, yes. Lumos Wax Studios. LUMOS Wax Studios. Check her
on
out.
Instagram.
She's amazing. Check her out on Instagram. We love her forever.
I just saw her a couple of days ago, so she's gonna be real happy. Because we talked about when we started the podcast, I talked to her about it. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have to like have you on because there's gonna be a waxing episode like other than this one, or like it's a further down the line. But she was like, oh my god, I'm so excited you guys are gonna talk about waxing, and I'm all like, look, you're in the conversation earlier than you thought. So
Hell yeah.
that is our girl. She is the best.
She is the best.
I've recommended many a person to her, so and everyone loves her. She is literally the best. So takes care of you and your kitty.
Yes. She's amazing. And she's very talented. She can get you those shapes too. And the what were they calling them? The vajazzles?
Vajazzles!
Giddy at her.
I want to do one.
But yeah, no. So after they talk about this wonderful industry, Charlotte arrives and she's super dressed up and they ask her like, why are you so dressed up? You know, she's like, well, it's not for you guys. I'm meeting with Lydia and her friends later on.
Excuse me.
You know? And mind you, this outfit is killer. Okay, she's got high-waisted tight pants. She's got the teeniest little bandeau, and she's got a blazer on over that. Cute as fuck. And,
love that.
Samantha's like, who's Lydia? And Miranda's like, did you hear? Charlotte's a lesbian now. And Charlotte's like, I'm not a lesbian. I just have some new lesbian friends. And Miranda's like, she's been out with them 3 times this past week.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Charlotte's like, so what? They're cool and they buy art and their lives aren't complicated by men. She got a point. And Miranda, come on, Miranda. Okay, she comes in with I was a major lesbian in 4th grade. Wendy Kirsten, we kissed. It was nice.
Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they allude to
a little bit
to this quite a bit throughout the series.
Yeah. And Samantha's like, they know you're straight, right? To Charlotte. And Charlotte's like, I'm sure they do. Believe me, it's a non-issue. And they both kind of come in on her. And they're like, you have to tell them. Otherwise, you're nothing but a big clit tease.
I love that terminology. A clit tease.
Charlotte's like, are you saying a straight woman and a lesbian can't be friends?
Of course they can.
That's what Samantha says. She says, of course they can, but you can't expect to go to Wonder Woman's island and not get paid. I couldn't get that one out without laughing. I'm sorry.
I love that. Oh, God. Wonder Woman's island.
Without going native.
Love that.
So
I love Wonder Woman.
Like, change the subject. And so she's like, where is Carrie? And we realize what's been taking Carrie so long in the restroom.
Oh, yeah.
I'm late for the movie that they're about to go see. And Carrie lets them know that her diaphragm is stuck. And she's been in the entire time trying to get it out, and she needs one of them to help her.
If you don't know what a diaphragm is, it's like an internal essential like condom.
She can't get
so it's female contraceptive. So
yeah.
If you didn't know what that is, it's stuck in her
canal
tunnel of love.
And she tells them like, either I'm gonna have to make a trip to the emergency room, or one of you is gonna have to help me out. And 2 things on that. 1, do you think Carrie would do the same for any of them?
No.
I don't.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I think she would look disgusted if somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, mind you, Samantha is the one who ends up doing it, right? So first of all, I don't think Carrie would do that for any of them. 2, and this might be a spoiler alert. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna fucking say it.
Say it.
Just like that, I'm not gonna say why, but at one point, Carrie alludes to the idea that Samantha only considered Carrie a paycheck in their friendship. Right? People don't do this kind of shit for their paychecks. You don't do that kind of shit when you don't give a shit about that person.
And what in your right mind can make you think that that friendship would even compare to anything like that?
And what in your right mind makes you think that you're so fucking innocent, dude? Carrie uses Samantha's sex life for her career.
Always.
Always.
All of them.
Always.
All of them.
And
all of the girls.
That I'm gonna close that because that is for a later time in the series, but that just like got me fired up.
Well, she alludes. Okay, so what happens in the newer series? She alludes to this very scene that we're talking about. We're now 15 plus years later, and they allude to this actual scene in the series. So because Samantha's the one who goes in and does that for her, and she brings it up actually on a podcast. So.
Mm-hmm. But people don't do that for somebody they don't care about. That is the end of my spiel. Anyway, they go to the movies finally because Samantha ripped that thing out of her. And
wait, hold on, the little scene I wanted, the little part where they're like, she's like, someone's gonna have to help me, and then Miranda goes to Charlotte. She goes, "Get in there, you're the lesbian."
Oh yeah. She's like, "No."
And then Samantha goes, "I just had my nails done."
But she doesn't. Like, she's a good friend.
I would do that. Here, come here.
No.
Come here. Come over here.
The rumors ensue.
Oh, whatever.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so now that the diaphragm is out of Carrie's vagina, they're in the movies finally. And on their way to the movie, Miranda's like, "Aren't we skipping a beat here? Who are you sleeping with?"
Yeah.
And like, I didn't want to tell you guys anything, but it's Mr. Big. And they're all pissed. They're all just like, "What the fuck?" And Charlotte's like, "He was such an asshole to you." And Carrie's like, "Well, not always. I mean, maybe sometimes." Like, Samantha's like, "What do you think is going to be different this time?" And Carrie's like, "I don't know. I'm not even sure that they are. It just kind of feels okay." And Miranda's like, "If it feels okay, why are you sneaking around behind our backs?" I mean, she gets hit from every fucking angle. And Carrie comes in with "We have a physical, chemical kind of connection. It's hard to shake." And Miranda's like, "So what? It's going to be casual sex?" Carrie's like, "Maybe." And Charlotte's like, "Even I'm not that naive." Do you hear that?
That's
Charlotte.
Huge. To hear Charlotte saying that is actually massive because remember, she is our like hopeful, hopeless, romantic,
like love,
like Delulu
to her. Yeah, married.
I mean, last episode we have her delusionally being like, "Oh, I cured this man of his grief from his dead wife."
My pussy.
So if Charlotte's telling you something, you should probably listen.
Yeah, that's bad. And Carrie's just like, "You know what? I'm not interested in the movie anymore." And like,
she got ass hurt,
bad, and everybody has to chase after her. I feel bad for them.
Carrie, no,
without her. But that night, Carrie can't sleep. She is walking back and forth, smoking like a chimney, and she's like, "I know my friends are right."
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, after truly considering what it is she's doing, getting back together with Mr. Big isn't, without really knowing what is happening, it is starting to seem like the bad idea that they're telling her. She's like, "Oh shit, I think they're right."
Yeah.
But, anyways, we have Charlotte at her later engagement with Lydia and her friends, and we meet Patty Aston. She is the ex-wife of a filmmaker, music producer. I don't remember.
Something.
Big guy in New York, and she has a lot of money, and she's basically like the queen bee of the chic lesbian community in New York. She's a big deal. Lydia's telling Charlotte all about her and how she's so talented. She's such a busy woman. She's so well connected. And she, on top of all of the shit she's doing, she's also learning how to be a pilot. Like, it's just, she's just impressive.
The lesbians are killing it. The lesbians are killing it right now in New York.
For real. And, you know, she also tells Charlotte about Patty's house in Telluride and that they're all going to go there for Easter and Charlotte should go with them. You know, she's like really bringing her into this community and like get connected and stuff. And, you know, in comes Patty and Lydia introduces them to each other and then leaves to go get them all drinks. So now it's just Charlotte and Patty. And they start talking and chatting, and you know, while Lydia's gone, they're just kind of talking about the house in Telluride and skiing. And you know, she asks Charlotte, "Do you ski?" She's like, "No, I'm just a little, you know, trail bunny. I just hop on the easy little trail." And she's like, "Well, it's not a prerequisite. It's just nice to get out of the city, you know, be And you know, I know Patty even says, "I know Lydia would love it if you came."
Right. So there's obviously an interest here. Someone's,
because you know, even when Lydia's like, "Oh, I'll go get the drinks," she sounds like flustered, like she has a crush, you know?
Yeah.
And Patty tells Charlotte, before we all get on a plane together, there's something everyone wants to know. Are you gay? She asks her point blank, no room for question, just yes or no. And Charlotte's honest immediately. She's like, "No, I'm not. But I do enjoy the company of these women. Everyone here is so smart and funny, and I've been spending way too much time and attention on men, and this feels like such a safe and warm environment. And while sexually, I feel that I am straight, there is a very powerful part of me that connects to the female spirit." What is that?
Well, yeah. That's weird, right? Because you're like, well, yeah, you're a woman. Like, you're, you know, you're going to be in tune with like other women, and, you know, being a woman, you get put in this, you know, we're bonded in this together just by, you know, the way we were born or whatever. But, yeah, but that's a weird way to kind of say that. Like sexually, she feels like she's straight,
but
you know,
women, you know, and Patty is blunt. I like that about her.
Yeah.
She says, "Well, that's all very nice, but if you're not going to eat pussy, then you're not a dyke."
Fair. But you know what's weird though is like, I guess like, because you can be they can be friends.
Yeah.
Why can't they be friends? But then I guess it's like, oh, hey, my homegirl has a crush on you, and you fess up if you're gay or not.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like part of the hostility that comes from this scene and this situation, you know, it almost feels like she's doing this because she's angry at men right now. You know, and I've heard of a stereotype where straight women will play around with the heart of lesbians because they're not getting the male attention that they want at the moment.
Oh yeah.
And
for sure.
I don't doubt that a straight woman and a gay woman can be friends, but I do think in certain circumstances you're not looking for friendship. You're looking for a replacement, even though that's not your cup of tea. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like you're not here for friendship. You're just here because you're tired of that right now. You want to break that.
So there's actually a song that alludes to this in such a perfect manner, because I hear it all the time because I like this song because I'm a slut. I'm just kidding. But it's that Weekend song. And it's when he's like, you said you're going through a phase, like keeping your, like, said you might be into girls, said you're going through a phase, keeping your heart safe. So like he's alluding, like, because she's like, wanting to hook up with chicks or whatever, saying that she's wanting to hook up with chicks because I'm trying to keep my heart safe right now. So you're like, what the fuck? So now women are just being sluts, like,
Yeah.
in the sense of like, hey, let me just fuck whoever because my heart's broken by men. That's not okay either. Like, well, okay, if both parties are agreeable, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, let's be real. So if both women are like, we're fucking a fuck,
That's fine.
safe.
Yeah.
But if you're like intentionally sleeping with like actual like lesbians just because you know that they're going to be sexually attracted to you, that's fucked up. That's not okay. If it's to whatever your sexual orientation is, if you're agreeable to like just sex kind of thing, cool. But if you're like doing the lead on process because you feel like you're needing whatever, not okay. Which is where I think the scene is kind of getting at.
Yeah, that was the vibe that I got from it. Like,
Right.
you're just tired of men right now. You are not, like, you're using Lydia. That's the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
And I feel Patty. Like, I'm gonna fucking say something if you're just here trying to use my friend.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Regardless of like orientation or whoever, I mean, you
Yeah.
get pretty defensive over your friends, you know.
Speaking of defensive, we have the next scene, and Samantha is in the room at the gym. It was right after her, I guess, third or fourth visit with Thor, her personal trainer.
That's the trainer's name is
Yeah,
Thor.
they call him Thor. And, you know, I've never been one for steam rooms. I feel like I feel like I'm getting suffocated the moment I walk in. But I know for some people it's relaxing.
Yeah.
And so they go into the steam room, and the other woman who's there is naked, and Samantha takes off her towel, and she's now naked. And the other woman kind of glances over at Samantha, and she's pissed all of a sudden. And she stands up in front of Samantha, butt ass naked. And Samantha just like, you just see her making eye contact, and then she looks down at her vaginal area, and she is also shaped like a lightning bolt. And the other lady's like, that asshole.
Signature style.
Kind of like, huh. I think simultaneously she's realizing, well, he lied. And I guess lightning does strike twice.
Wait, I'm confused. What did he lie about?
Remember, right when they were about to hook up for the first time, she was like, I bet you sleep with all your clients. And he's like, no, it's actually
Oh. Okay. I was like, where was there like an exclusivity talk? I was like, there wasn't, right? Yeah.
But it was a talk of like, she acknowledged, like, I bet you do this with all your clients. And he told her he does not.
Oh, so he's a fucking liar.
So he's a liar. So it's like you were saying, like, is that cheating?
That's hard.
Right?
That's hard because that's not cheating. He just didn't.
He just lied.
He lied. That was lying. That was just lying.
I was just lying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so lightning struck twice. And Miranda and Ethan one last time. So
oh geez.
we come into the scene, and Miranda is riding Ethan. She's on top, and he's still watching porn while they have sex. Like, he just is. And all of a sudden, he is like, stop. I need to rewind the tape. Stop having sex with me so I can rewind this tape. And she gets off and she takes the remote away. She's like, that's enough. This is not a synchronized event. I like you, but it's either the women in the tape or me, but you can't have both. And he's like,
yeah,
simple. It's not that simple. You know, I've only known you for a few weeks, but I've been involved with some of these women for years.
Yeah. So see, he considers them as like his
in his life.
people in his life.
Yeah.
That's his VR girlfriends.
That's his
I'm
VR.
telling, see?
And she leaves pissed. And he turns it back on.
It's like, yeah, later, bye.
Yeah, he's fine. He's been with these women for years.
Yeah.
And here we come to the last scene of this episode.
Yep.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
So, Carrie and Mr. Big are out dancing. And she even says, it's like he knew I needed to talk to him. And he made it as difficult as he possibly could. And then, little random side note. Have you ever noticed her shoes in this scene?
No. Which ones are they?
They are these really tall stiletto sandals. They have like no back strap on them. I can't imagine walking in something like that, let alone dancing. Like, say what you want about Sarah Jessica Parker. She knows how to walk in heels. And
I want to see them now. Damn it. Let me see.
But I just always found that impressive. Like, those shoes look really difficult to stand in, let alone dance.
So it's just it's a slip-on?
Yeah.
There's no straps.
No.
Let me see.
Slip-on shoe where her foot is literally like at a 90-degree angle. Internally, she's saying, you know, this traction is strong, but I need to be stronger. And honestly, kudos to her, because this is like some of the most like
self-aware that she's being.
And so she does it. She jumps off the cliff and she says, "Are we seeing each other again officially?" Right? Mm-hmm. And he says, "If you say so."
Mm.
She says, "That's an infuriating response." And he's like, "I don't know what officially means." Bitch, run.
You're in your 40s, dude. Don't fucking play.
Before.
You've been married before. Don't play these games.
This shit pisses me off. I dated somebody like this once, and that was so infuriating. Like, just fucking say it. I don't fucking like you.
Like, yeah, or it's like it's like there's like so many it's so crazy too, because there's like easy ways to let people down in scenarios like this. There really is. If you're like, I like the attention with someone, I like the attention that they give me, that happens. We get it. That happens. You can just say like, hey, you know what? I've really enjoyed our time together. I don't feel like this is going to go anywhere. But how hard is that?
Seriously. But don't fucking play stupid like that.
Yeah, playing stupid is ridiculous.
Scratch your eyes out, bro. Like, I can't.
Yeah. It's not hard to be honest.
It really... Just... Anybody who's listening, if there's one thing you get out of this, don't stick around if they're treating you like that. For the love of God, dude.
Yeah, they're stringing you along. It's the string along thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard when you're attracted to someone so much, or you want someone so much. You know, I get it. I get wanting someone so bad, you know, and wanting to make something work so bad. But you're risking a lot. You're risking a lot.
It's compromising a lot.
It's hard, and I get it. I've been in that position. I struggle with a lot of that. It's hard. You have to put yourself first in these scenarios, because you can, let's be real, women can willingly go into this. Like Carrie, they can go, hey, and they've like whole discussions in their head and with friends, like, you know, I know this is a bad idea, but I'm going to go forward with it anyway. Like, that's hard. You're making that decision.
But that is your decision, man.
Right.
Or they, them, whoever you are.
Exactly.
But no, he says, I don't know what officially means. And so she comes back with the officially means officially. So y'all are mutually not communicating. You're talking, but you're not communicating mutually at this point.
Yeah.
And he just goes, oh. And she's like, you know, for real. And she's like, why did we break up? Which is kind of like offhand, because it's like she broke up with him. So he's like, you tell me. She's
Yeah.
like, you didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. And if you don't remember what that was, she was telling him to tell her that she was the one.
Right.
And he wouldn't.
It's because you're not.
Yeah.
It's hard. I like time and time and time and time and time and over and over and over again. I can't stress this enough. Like, men tell you how they feel about you.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to accept. I understand, because there's the whole mixed signal things. And, oh, but what if and what I'm like, no, a man makes it known. If he wants to be in your life, he will make it known.
Yeah.
If you are the one, he will tell you that. Like, he will show you that. So it's rough. You will not have there wouldn't be uncertainty. There wouldn't. Like, you would know.
I can guarantee you that there is no uncertainty when you truly are ready and wanting to do this.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to go through that. Because you have to go through that quite a bit sometimes to find someone too. You know, you got to learn what's real and what's not. And it sucks because you feel like you're wasting your time sometimes. You're like, oh, well, I just wasted my time with this person. But truthfully, you're kind of like, oh, well, off the bat, they kind of already said something. You know, it's hard. It's hard dating. It's hard coming to that like realization of like, I'm putting myself in this scenario, but also trying for love, you know?
Yeah. Because, like, internally, after that conversation, she says, I wanted to tell him that I was afraid he could never love me the way I wanted to be loved. I was afraid he didn't have the capacity to love anyone but himself.
Hmm.
I was afraid that given the chance, he would break my heart again. Why are you doing to yourself? Anyways.
It's hard.
I know.
It's hard.
Oh, I know. I wish it wasn't, you know?
I know.
I know everybody does, but it just sucks, dude.
I know.
But she chickens out, and all she says is, I guess I was afraid. Because remember, he asked her why they broke up, and she says, I guess I was afraid.
Yeah.
And he says, I can tell you one thing. I sure did miss you, officially.
I don't need to hear that.
And she's like, did you cry? He's like, no. But I did listen to a hell of a lot of Sinatra. Officially.
Ew.
Now he knows what officially means. Fucking
Yeah.
And, you know, internally, like, so that's the last thing that is said verbally, which was, I sure did listen to a hell of a lot of Sinatra, officially. Last verbalized thing in this episode. Internally, Carrie says, I guess we were back together. Officially. Whatever that means. And I'm here like, girl, shut the fuck up. You know what it means. Now you're just playing stupid because you want to be agreeable.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
So we're playing on this trend again that we've noticed throughout the first season, was that Big says something, he pacifies her ass, and she's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So we're not starting off strong in their redo of their relationship.
No. Right. Replay. And it's exhausting.
So, yeah.
You know?
I get it. I feel for Carrie. I do sometimes I don't. I get in the whole quest for love and companionship and everything. I get it. But it's just, you gotta pull yourself out sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Whew, this is a rough one.
The cheating curve.
That's the end of the episode. So that's a rough one. We talk about cheating's a hard topic, you know. That's crazy. Last week was death and dying and panic attacks, and this week's cheating, and I'm like, I don't know how much more my fucking brain can take right now. But
gosh.
yeah, so we're ending this off with Carrie and Big's gonna try dating again.
Yeah, they're kind of just like ambiguous, like what is happening, we don't know. And honestly, I do feel like she's kind of playing stupid at the end of it. Like, I guess I
Yeah,
don't know what officially means. Like, you
I know.
stop.
Um, but yeah, so
But
that's the end of the episode. Um, next episode is gonna be called The Chicken Dance.
yes,
And I
uh,
love this episode.
it's a really great episode.
And next week's gonna be a really good one. That's a really good episode. The week after, we are having our first guest host. So I'm really excited. You guys will get to know that here in the next 2-ish weeks or so. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening. This was definitely a heated episode. Thanks for sticking around if you listen to the whole thing. If you listen to any bit at all, thank you guys again so much for the support, for anything you guys do. We love and appreciate you guys so much. We're wanting to continue and just make the show better and, get through this. We're getting closer to the halfway mark too, right? Let's see.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah. Yeah, we're what? This is 18
Really
18
almost
episodes.
season 2. Holy
We're
shit.
Isn't it crazy? It's so
Yeah,
crazy. I know every end of episode, we're always reminiscing at like, oh my God, another week. Oh my God, another week. It's because
yeah.
it flies by. It flies by and it's just really cool doing it. Cause everyone's like, oh, you guys are just starting. And I was like, yeah, I was like, we are, but I'm like, okay, here we're already through halfway of season 2, like that kind
Yeah.
of just flew
It can-
by. So
and it's honestly an honor to do every episode. I'm
yeah.
determined to the last episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then people are asking, a lot of people ask me, they're like, are you doing the movies? Are you gonna do the show? And I'm like, yeah, we
Yeah,
want to do the whole
the whole
shebang, guys. Like
whole thing.
we gotta finish it out. It's still going. It's still going. There's gonna be a third season coming out and just like that. So like there's content to be done. So but yes,
And
again, thank you
movie
guys.
is gonna be like 10 episodes, like a season.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
first
we're gonna
shit happens.
yeah, the first movie that's a lot. We're gonna have to cut it into parts for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for hearing all of our crazy ass banter. We love, 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 and appreciate every single one of you. So thank you guys so, 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 so much. We will see you guys next week. Bye.